Without a shadow of a doubt, it's the Crockett Show in social media history. I want to welcome you to another episode of the Warzone. Say all across the country, they do the same thing, 7 o'clock every night, Facebook, YouTube, and Twitter. They tune in to the one and only. I'm the 5-star general. They got an idiot on the loose from James Madison High School down in Houston, Texas. And the only thing I can tell you, the circus came to town and forgot one of their clowns. Let's get to it, man. Hey, man, how you doing? Welcome to another episode of the Warzone. I thank you for taking the time out to tune in. You know, without you guys, I would not even have a show. And with that being said, I appreciate you taking the time out to come and hang out with me. Today, they're in the third day of deliberations for the Kim Potter trial. I'm actually in Minneapolis, Minnesota as we speak, and the city is on edge. I don't know if this thing is going to be a guilty verdict, an acquittal, or maybe a hung jury. It's looking like a hung jury, but that's not in the best interest of Minneapolis, Minnesota, and surrounding areas. I think that the Twin Cities will go up in flames if a guilty verdict is not given. But at the same time, I'm not trying to influence the decision. I'm just telling you the reality that it's not going to sit well with the natives if Kim Potter is not convicted. And sometimes you just got to do the right thing. My honest opinion of it is I don't have one. So I'm here to help the community, and that's what I'm going to continue to do in my work and being out doing what I actually do. Across the country, we have a problem. The pandemic has ran a lot of teachers out of the teaching aid. Along the way, the teachers that have stayed, the new teachers that have come, have fought a hell of a fight to be able to educate our babies across the country. A lot of days it goes in our favor. Some days it doesn't as far as education goes. But I want to applaud those teachers that are there hanging in, doing what they need to do. And hold on a second, you guys, that are doing what they need to do at the end of the day. Because without good teachers, our kids can't get a quality education. So every superintendent that's listening, just clearly understand you need to value your teachers. You need to value them, those that are hanging in there, sticking in there, because a teacher gets a salary, a yearly salary. But on an average, they work 16 to 17 hours a day, especially in the schools where the kids are not performing high on these state mandated tests that I don't agree with. But they are hanging in there. So, we need to give them a big hand clap for the work that they do. Educators are really, which they're not being acknowledged as such, they are really one of the most crucial frontline workers that we have during these times that we're dealing with. So we need to value our teachers. That brings me to what I need to talk about tonight. First of all, if you got kids in the room, get them out. I'm gonna use some language tonight that may not be appropriate for your children. So I'm telling you before I start, please get them out. Get them out, because I have to say what I need to say tonight in regards to the subject matter that I'm going to discuss. And it's not going to be something that, I'll do my best not to curse, but I think that there may be some curse words that come out. So I'm just giving you fair warning. If you got ear pods or headphones or whatever, put them on. If you're sitting at work at your desk, put your stuff on. You may not want your coworker to hear what I have to say. Now, with that being said, we already know that we got a serious issue over at James Madison High School in Houston, Texas. You have a lady that's running this school that is clearly not in her right frame of mind. I can honestly tell you that. She's really not in her right frame of mind. And for those that tune in graciously every night, we're talking about Principal Carlotta Outley Brown. You guys know her as the principal that instituted the dress code for the parents. Hold on a second, y'all. Hold on, y'all. You guys, please, if you can, because every call is important to me. But if you're watching the show, you guys, please don't text me right now because it makes me have to look at my phone. How many damn lawsuits does the district have to incur from one principal? Now, I know she's at home lying to her people about she's in distress in her health and she may not be back because of her health. No, you're not going to be back because of the shit that you've been doing. Let's get that straight. Ain't got nothing to do with your health. You was in perfectly good health before them kids walked out of that school about a month ago. You were in perfectly good health. So don't nobody want to hear them lies about your health anymore. This woman has tormented, traumatized, bullied, any word that you can think of that's derogatory towards a teacher, she's done it. The school district has allowed her to do it because her and that administrative team, when they were at the elementary school that she came from, she jumped from elementary to high school. They were cheating on the STAR test. So everybody's like, she must have 9 lives. She knows somebody. Yeah. The people that let her cheat on the STAR test, which is the Houston Independent School District. So if they try to deal with her a certain way, then it becomes a problem for them because she can turn this district into Atlanta. And I know you like to watch my videos, so there's nothing that you can say that I'm going to say wrong. Now, if you want to dispute the fact of the cheating on the STAR test, which allows you to be the bully that you are, then take me into a court of law so I can prove it. I've talked to several people over the last few weeks, politicians, community members, police officers that know her. They've been knowing her for years. Oh, this is my friend. I don't give a fuck if she your friend or not. This person should not be around people's kids. And that's the bottom line. She should not be around people's children. And for those that want to protect their friends, you know, y'all are some sorry motherfuckers on the political level because you embrace stupidity. And what I mean by embrace stupidity is y'all were just at a function the other day with this woman. After all the things that have gone on, kids being assaulted on the campus, teachers being, no, they did not, James. Teachers being sexually harassed on the campus, students being threatened, teachers being wrongfully terminated, a half-naked Christmas party, and y'all in this woman corner. You know why? Because all of y'all that support her are just as fucked up as her. Now, I told you this was going to be a rough situation. I gave you the disclaimer before I started, so don't be upset with me for the language that I have to use because I can't seem to hold this. We have a brand new superintendent, and with the way he's starting to address problems, you're starting to become a fan of 5-star because some days you just got to do what you got to do, Mr. Superintendent. You have no skin in the game with this person. At the end of the day, you need to rid this district of anything that is going to hurt us. You feel what I'm saying? And disrespecting our children, disrespecting our parents, disrespecting the educators. And yet you need educators. That makes no sense to me. Allowing somebody to do that makes no sense to me. So I'm trying to understand why Would you move her from the school? Then I know what you're going to do. You're going to put her in another position, probably in the central office, so that she can get her last 2 years of retirement. I don't have a problem with her getting her retirement. But if she's put herself in a position to be terminated, then she should be terminated. You're not setting the example. Mr. Superintendent, terminate this goddamn woman. Why? Yesterday, there was another lawsuit filed against Miss Brown, Outley Brown, the principal at Madison, the principal with the dress code, the principal that takes hoodies from kids in the cold weather and throws them in the garbage, the principal that berates children, the principal that gets on the loudspeaker and berates me. I'm not a member of the school, but I got the audio, baby. I'm a buffoon, remember? No, I'm not a buffoon. Buffoon needs nuts in your mouth. That's how I feel about you. See, I know there will be some women or some women group that have a problem with what I just said, but you don't get to disrespect me as a woman and think that I'm going to sit quiet. Doesn't work. Yeah, I was a buffoon on the speaker in front of the children in the middle of an instructional day. Do you feel me? Another lawsuit has been filed. Well, you know me. I don't just talk about it. I bring the receipts. Miss Outley Brown, do you know Miss Arabo? I'm pretty sure that you do. Well, I got a chance to speak with her today. And I had already went to the county website and pulled up the actual lawsuit. And once again, this woman has put the Houston Independent School District in the line of fire for more of our taxpayer money to fight a lawsuit that they shouldn't even fight at this point. Mr. Superintendent, if you smart, you would take that to the board and tell them to come up with a settlement agreement and let it go. Because to prolong it in a court of law is only costing these taxpayers more money. It's only costing us more money to deal with the same person over and over and over and over. Two principles. I want the Houston Independent School District to total up the number of lawsuits that you've been involved in, settled in court, out of court, whatever, between Rosa Hernandez at Welch Middle School and Carlotta Brown Outley or Outley Brown at Madison High School. Now, Miss Hernandez, I'm going to send word to you. You walking around telling people, oh, he busy with other things. He ain't got time for me. You a walk in the park, clown. You a walk in the park, clown. And if you think that I'm not working on you, you ain't from the hood anyway. You wouldn't get it. So when somebody that like to run their mouth a lot gets quiet, that's when you need to figure out that they are the most dangerous. Rosa Hernandez is a clown. She's a joke over at Welch Middle School, as well as Carlotta Brown Outley. But tonight we're talking about Outley Brown and the new lawsuit that has been filed in federal court. Let me pull it up. And now let's look at this. All right, let's look at this. It's in the United States District Court, Southern District of Texas. That looks federal to me. Oh, and by the way, it's in federal court. You politician friends ain't got no stroke up in there. They're going to go straight by the book. Let's go back. Let's go back to it. All right. Here we go. Let's make sure that you guys can see this. This is the lawsuit, the actual full lawsuit. Marcella Arbaca versus the Houston Independent School District. Hold on a second. Let's go back in here. Okay, let me make sure that you can see that. Yeah, you can. Okay, so bear with me. All right. To the Honorable United States District Judge comes now plaintiff Marcella Arbaca plaintiff complaining of defendant Houston Independent School District, and for cause, plaintiff would show the following. The plaintiff is a trained and skilled public school teacher who resides within the geographical parameters of the Southern District of Texas. The defendant is a public school district. HISD is a public school district with its principal place of business being in the city of Houston. We ain't going to read the rest of that. We're going to skip that. All right. The court has federal question jurisdiction because the action arises under Civil Rights Act 1964, Title VII. So now you're violating people's civil rights over at Madison High School. Okay, let's keep going. And the nature of the action, this is a religious discrimination and retaliation case arising under Title VII, Title 42 USC. Oh, so let's just get to the meat and potatoes. This young lady filed a discrimination claim with the Equal Employment Opportunity Commission, the EEOC. They gave her the right to sue within 90 days. They gave her the right to sue. The plaintiff is a Jehovah's Witness and has been since she was a child, born to parents who belong to that religious faith. The plaintiff started her teaching career with Aldine Independent School District in September 2016 and taught English for 3 years. The plaintiff was hired at James Madison High School as an English teacher for the 2019-2020 school year. Plaintiff was interviewed for the position by Miss Carlotta Brown, principal of James Madison High School. Okay, hold on a second. Let's go back. Bear with me. During the initial interview, the plaintiff advised Brown, even before plaintiff accepted the offered position at Madison High School, she was a Jehovah's Witness and had a very important religious trip planned for October 21st, 2019 to November 1st, 2019, traveling to New York for a Jehovah's Witness Bible study. Brown responded saying it would not be a problem if plaintiff traveled to New York from those dates, October 21st to November 1st, and Brown could accommodate plaintiff and not hold her absence for the trip against the plaintiff since it was for an important religious purpose. So she baited her. She said whatever that lady needed to hear for her to accept that job. And let's keep going. All right, here we go. The plaintiff was instructed that she could use her earned paid vacation days for the trip, October 21st to November 1st. Now we get to a shortage in pay and altered records. What is she talking about? However, once the plaintiff returned from a trip, she realized she was only paid for 4 days out of the 2-week pay period, receiving roughly half of her paycheck. The plaintiff also discovered that her application had been altered by someone. The plaintiff reported the shortage to LaTanya Hamilton, the Madison payroll clerk or ticket keeper. Plaintiff then reported the shortage and reported that the shortage had resulted from someone having altered the coding of her absence from vacation to family illness, which would negatively impact her entitlement to a stipend. Now, if you know Outlet Brown, if you've ever worked for Outlet Brown, if that girl had to go on that much of a leave for a family illness, Brown would have made her show proof before she ever took the leave. I know that for a fact. So that don't even sound right coming from the school district, okay? But that's what they did to her. The plaintiff then was summoned by Brown to a meeting with Brown, 2 assistant principals, and the payroll clerk on or about November 2019. 19. Brown stated to plaintiff in that meeting that her religious trip was not publicly recognized. What she mean? Let's put this back up. What she mean that her religious trip was not publicly recognized? See, this is why the district stage trips would be publicly recognized. What religion is Brown a part of that she would accept a religious excuse for? Because that doesn't make sense. You're not a Jehovah's Witness, Brown. Let's go. Brown had plaintiff itinerary, including brochures of the religious event. Once plaintiff returned from her trip, she had submitted additional brochures and other documents she had received during the event, describing the event. Plaintiff complained that Brown had approved the trip as a vacation and someone had altered her records. And Brown agreed in front of the assistant principals and Miss Hamilton that she had approved the trip. But Brown, Hamilton, and the assistant principals denied having to alter the official pay records. So if you approved it for a religious trip, so they did alter our records. Let's go. Brown stated that the plaintiff had signed a contract, achieved 180 paperwork. That contract states that a teacher could not have more than 5 days off per semester. This contract has modifications and reasons for teachers to take more than 5 days in a semester, and religion is one of them. Brown stated again that the plaintiff's religious observation was not publicly recognized. Therefore, it does not fall under a religious category. Can somebody tell me, with all the religions that we deal with, all the religions that are in the United States of America, when you look at a calendar, does a calendar recognize all those religious holidays or whatever goes on with it? If somebody religion is Yahweh, however that's called, there's nothing on the calendar that recognizes holidays in regards to Yahweh. For example, this is why they're going to lose this lawsuit. Okay. Brown stated for this reason she would address plaintiff's trip as a vacation opposed to Bible study. Brown also stated, "This is your religious observation, not mine." Brown asked plaintiff to agree that it is not fair for plaintiff to get a stipend for not being at work when Miss Hamilton is here every day and plaintiff was away 10 days. It's a way of stealing her stipend. That's Brown's way of stealing her stipend. But yet she wouldn't cut it out or to achieve 180 budget. She just keep it or give it to somebody else. The plaintiff filed a level 1 grievance with the district. It went up to a level 2 grievance hearing with the district, which finally reached the level 2 hearing in June of 2020. And HISD ruled in the plaintiff teacher's favor for her to be paid the additional stipend, even though Brown stated the trip had been a vacation. So this teacher files a grievance and Brown loses. She has to pay her. I tell you. This is why she's going to end up losing the lawsuit. Although the level 2 grievance decision occurred in the first week of June 2020, Plaintiff did not receive the stipend pay until the end of July 2020. So the way Brown operates, she beat her, so she gonna make her suffer by not paying her money. I'm gonna pay her when I want to pay her. Okay, that's retaliation. After the district ruled in Brown in the plaintiff's favor, Brown started retaliating against the plaintiff with clearly mean-spirited and unethical practices, which is her normal. On December 4th, 2020, the plaintiff received 3 observations, 30 minutes for each observation. Brown, the principal, would come into the plaintiff's classroom and observe her while she was teaching students both, hold on, in person and virtually. The normal observation practice was to have an observation by the principal once or twice per semester. But on December 4th, remember, she observed her 3 times for 30 minutes in one day. But the normal district practice is to have an observation by the principal once or twice per semester. However, Brown made 3 observations of the plaintiff in class in one day. The first Brown observation occurred while plaintiff was attending an annual ARD meeting virtually to reevaluate students in special ed services. During the ARD meeting, plaintiff was in her classroom and Brown came in and just started looking at her, observing her. Plaintiff asked Brown to please excuse herself and leave the plaintiff's classroom so she could focus on special ed students conference. Brown refused to leave and stated she was the principal and she could be anywhere she wanted to be, and she stayed looking coldly at the plaintiff during the ARD virtual conference. So after that virtual conference, she should have never came back into the classroom to observe her, y'all. She should have never came back. Okay, so ride with me on this here because it gets interesting. Brown had the authority to log into the ARD meeting virtually and not be physically present in the plaintiff's room. Personally across from the plaintiff, however, Brown chose to go to the plaintiff's room and observe the plaintiff in person. During the ARD meeting, the plaintiff had trouble focusing on the proceedings because of the way Brown was distracting her and glaring at her. The plaintiff excused herself, took her laptop on which she was participating in the child's assessment review dismissal or ARD meeting and left the room. Hearing steps behind her as she focused on the laptop screen, she turned to see Brown pursuing her. The plaintiff walked into the women's bathroom, which only had 1 stall for privacy to focus on the ARD meeting. You drive a teacher into the bathroom where there's 1 stall. 1 stall. Keep listening. The plaintiff walked into the women's bathroom, which had 1 stall for privacy to focus on the ARD meeting. Plaintiff heard Brown standing outside of the bathroom, asked someone to give her a chair. Shortly after, plaintiff heard a chair scraping across the floor, apparently right in front of or next to the bathroom door. Now, where the hell do they do that at? Where the hell do they do that at? So you done ran this woman into the bathroom. Now you sit in now in front of the stall. This is what a principal is doing, y'all. The focus again. Plaintiff could hear Brown talking to everyone who passed by the ref's room she was sitting outside of while I was inside, and she was trying to have an observation. Humiliated by Brown, the plaintiff walked out of the restroom with her laptop and walked into the conference room to continue the virtual ARD. Brown told the plaintiff she was not allowed to sit in the conference room while attending a conference meeting and instructed the plaintiff to leave the conference room. Plaintiff gathered her laptop again and returned to her classroom to finish the art conference. Once the plaintiff walked into her classroom, she closed her door and put her foot against the door so Brown could not bully her and continue harassing her while she attended the art meeting for the special needs student. Brown called HISD police and told them to open the plaintiff's classroom door. However, HISD police did not show up. I'm going to be straight up with y'all. If anybody, Kedrick, let me lace you, brother. She's not there. She's about to retire, bro. She's done. She's done. If you follow me into the toilet and disrespect me in that manner, I would turn around and piss on your ass. She should have peed on her. That's what she should have did. And then she could have took it to federal court and act like she was the female R. Kelly. She should have peed on her ass in that bathroom. Something really wrong with this lady, but let's keep going, man. The second observation that day occurred at approximately 10:15 a.m. when Brown came back to the plaintiff's classroom to observe her after the art meeting had concluded. The plaintiff had 3 students she was teaching in person while the rest of the class was engaged in virtual learning. Brown stayed for 30 minutes asking the students what were they learning and what they had been taught. The third observation occurred on the same day at approximately 2:35 p.m., the plaintiff's last period of the day. In the third observation, Brown walked into the classroom accompanied by Sabrina Cuby King, lead principal for the South region. During the third observation, Cuby King started engaging with the plaintiff, asking her questions and interrupting the plaintiff while she was attempting to teach and interact with the students. As politely as possible, the plaintiff continued to teach and responding to Ms. Cuby King only as able when she was not distracting to the students. Brown apparently got a kick out of seeing her supervisor needle the plaintiff. At one point, Cuby King took over the classroom and redirected the students' attention by asking the students questions. The students realized that something was up and appeared very uncomfortable, looking at plaintiff for answers or at least an explanation. So you call one of your sorors, who's your lead principal, to come over and antagonize this lady, and it's funny to you. It's going to be funny when I send your ass into retirement, you old Negro League bat catcher. Let's go, man. On December 14th, plaintiff filed a grievance with the EEOC for the following: discrimination, Hispanic, national origin, Hispanic, and religious Jehovah Witness, and retaliation. In 3 short months, plaintiff received 9 observations when you're only supposed to get 2 to 3 in 1 year. 2 to 3 in 1 year. But in 3 months, she got 9 observations, 10 memorandums in 9 working days, 2 certified mail and 1 regular mail, all from Brown. Brown ridiculed the plaintiff during the COVID-19 pandemic about the plaintiff's protective garb and mask which she wore to school to protect herself. Plaintiff wore scrub pants, scrub shirt, a mask over her face, and a shield around her face and head, covering herself to protect herself and her large family. Brown stated that her attire was not part of and in violation of the dress code, and she wrote up the plaintiff every single day she wore PPE. Let me let you read it for yourself. Brown ridiculed the plaintiff ridiculed the teacher. We're going to change the word plaintiff to teacher. That's better for me and better for some of y'all. During the COVID-19 pandemic, about the plaintiff's protective garb and mask. So the woman was wearing PPE, coming to school, protecting herself, protecting her kids, And you wrote her up. You wrote this lady up. Where is it at? She's protecting herself, and you wrote her up 9 observations, 10 memorandums in 9 working days. Wow. HISD or something else. Brown stated her attire was not part of and in violation of the dress code. Plaintiff received more than 10 write-ups for wearing her PPE. So to protect herself and protect her students, you write this woman up more than 10 times. On January 8th, plaintiff, the teacher was transferred by Brown to the print shop. Hold on a second. You changed this woman's job title, right? From an English teacher to go to the print shop? Did HISD approve that? Let's keep going, man. EEOC conducted a mediation on February 2nd, 2021. The case did not mediate to settlement. On March 1st, 2021, plaintiff was working in the print shop. The teacher began to have stress attacks and excused herself to go to her vehicle and contact her therapist for teletherapy on her laptop. Ms. Givens was the plaintiff's boss, and she approved her therapy session. She was attending on her laptop, sitting in her vehicle. During the plaintiff's therapy, hold on, let me see, I lost it. Where was it? During the plaintiff's therapy session, Mr. Givens came back to her vehicle in the parking lot and advised her someone was there to see her. Plaintiff excused herself from her therapy, went inside the building to see her visitor, and saw Miss Lakeisha Agbar, assistant principal at Madison. The assistant principal handed the plaintiff an envelope and instructed the plaintiff to sign it. At 9:36 a.m., the teacher politely replied to Ms. Agbar she was in the middle of a meeting with her doctor, and she would read the document and then sign it if Ms. Agbar would return at 10 a.m. Her therapy was approved. Plaintiff walked back to her vehicle and continued her therapy. Ms. Agbar walked up to her vehicle, opened the driver's side of the door, and told her to sign the document. Caught off guard, plaintiff stated again, politely, she would not sign anything until she read it, and she would be finished with her conference at 10 a.m. in a few minutes. Ms. Agbar wrote, refused to sign, and left. Plaintiff received a letter of termination stating she would be terminated and she would be directed to teach the rest of the semester. And on the last day of school, her termination letter was effective June 14th, 2021. Whenever in this complaint it is alleged that the defendant, HISD, did any act or thing, it is meant that the defendant's officers, agents, employees, representatives did such acts. And at that time, such acts was done. It was done with the full authorization or ramification of the defendant and was done in normal routine course and scope of employment. Plaintiff possessed a sincere religious belief that she was obligated to attend at a New York Bible conference by her own personal view of her religious faith. During the interview with Brown, plaintiff told Ford about her religious beliefs and she needed to go. And of course, Brown approved it. Plaintiff told Brown the exact dates that the conference would be in session and when she would be in attendance and when she would return to Houston and be at Madison to teach. In fact, plaintiff told Brown that she wanted Principal Brown to understand fully the times that the plaintiff would not be present at Madison before Brown made the final offer of the position to the plaintiff. So before she took the job, She needed that principal to understand, I'm not going to take this job if I can't go to my Bible conference. And Brown agreed to allow her to go. Okay, let's keep going. Okay, let's see. Brown fully expressed her understanding of the length of the conference and the depth of the plaintiff's commitment and reaffirmed her initial view when she and her staff met with the plaintiff in 2019. Okay. Okay, bear with me. Plaintiff taught her students with passion and skill, and she was devoted to educational environment. Defendant HISD by and through defendant's agents intentionally engaged in unlawful employment practices involving plaintiff because she is a devoted. So the retaliation is outlined: bullying and harassing her, and even altering official state or local school payroll records, removing the plaintiff from the classroom, intentionally reprimanding plaintiff for acts she did not commit. This retaliation was an unnecessary costs incurred in pursuing this suit, including expert witnesses fees. This is what she wants. That is this young lady's, Miss Araba's, lawsuit. As I sit and I read this stuff, I want to talk directly to the superintendent right now. You are pleading for people to come to the Houston Independent School District. You don't even have enough teachers to man the classrooms. This isn't your, but you have to fix this problem. This problem has been running rampant through HISD, named Outlet Brown or Brown Outlet, for the last 20 something years. This woman was humiliated to the point that she ended up having to take therapy sessions. And nobody in the Houston Independent School District seems to feel that something is wrong with that. See, when a kid violates the policy, then we want to remember that they have to deal with the consequences for their actions. But nobody has made Brown deal with the consequences of her actions. Now, this lady is unemployed. She can't get a job. Why? Because every time someone calls over there for a reference, and she was a good teacher. She was a good teacher with good scores. You're giving her bad references. This is what y'all do. The Houston Independent School District is a cesspool. It is a cesspool. And this woman has been allowed to destroy people's careers. How do you move this lady out of a classroom when you don't have enough English teachers, you ignorant motherfucker? You know why you moved out of the classroom? Because you didn't give a damn to cheat on the STAR test again. So therefore, you can get rid of all your teachers. It doesn't matter. But you send your imps to do your dirty work for you. Mr. Singleton is trash. Your administrative team is trash. Because it ain't no way in hell I would persecute somebody like that on behalf of your good fucked up wig wearing ass. Yeah, I said it. All of y'all out there, her friends, and you ain't got no problem with the way this people treat people. You said her relation. You're a Christian, ain't you? You're a Baptist, ain't you? So only your days should be recognized. Millard House, this is what we're dealing with. Don't worry, because God is not going to send you the teachers that you require. You know why? Because God is not going to let if y'all happen to bring this ignorant ass woman back there. This is ridiculous. And it's sickening. But yet it's the kids, right? This is a grown woman treating teachers like this. It's a grown woman doing this to people. And nobody seems to have a problem with it. If you put this woman back in a classroom, y'all are not going to stop until somebody stumps a mud hole in her ass. There have been more calls for police at James Madison High School than goddamn Haverstock Apartments by this clown ass motherfucking woman who over there disrespecting people. And my question is, when is enough enough? When is enough enough? She gonna make somebody beat off in her ass. That's what's gonna happen. And they're gonna beat off in her ass before them police can get to the situation. And then what are you gonna say? What are you gonna do? You're gonna go to terminate this lady. That had to go through the board of trustees. I would love to see how that was voted on. Because one of her friends sits on the board. And if she wanted to be fair, she should have abstained from voting, Myrna Guidry, with your foul ass. I shall not be nice about Carlotta Brown Outlet ever again. I shall not be respectful of somebody that disrespects people on a daily basis. So any one of y'all out there that's her friend that jump in my lane, your ass can get it too. But your friend going into retirement, compliments a 5-star. And if you don't send her into retirement, you're going to have more issues at that school. You're going to have some major league issues at that school, but you're going to have some issues from a district perspective. I know too much. And I will fight until the end for these teachers, man. Now, I don't like every administrator, but I'll fight for them too. But to allow a principal, an assistant principal, to treat people in this manner is not acceptable. And I want people to understand, oh, well, you bash an African-American woman. No. So I'm going to go from the Negro side of town to the Latino side of town. Because all of you bastards are out of control. The ones that are out of control, you're out of control. But what you're going to do is you're going to rub the wrong person the wrong way and make somebody stomp a fucking mud hole in your ass. And you need to stop playing with grown people. Because enough is enough. You followed this woman to the toilet. You sat outside the bathroom door. How humiliating is that? But see, this I'm trying to figure out, why does Alpha Kappa Alpha sorority continue to allow this woman to be a part of, quote unquote, such a great organization? Is it because she allowed the local chapter in Houston to use her building every Sunday for free, when they should have been going through facilities and wasn't paying for the building? If y'all don't step up to the plate, then fuck y'all too. Because she should be expelled from Alpha Kappa Alpha sorority. This is how you AKAs operate. And you allow your members to do this type of stuff. I'm glad I'm not beholden to any group, to any politician, for any reason. This woman talks of standards and how we should conduct ourselves, how parents should dress. On an average day, baby, minus the Gucci and the Prada, you really dress like Satchel Paige. I don't know who told you was a fashion model, because you're not. I don't know who told you were better than the average black person, because you ain't. I don't know who told you was the top of the line, or you was a bad bitch, because you ain't nothing but that trash that like to fuck for $40 in the club. Yeah, I got it on my mind tonight, man. I really do have it on my mind, because enough is enough. You don't get to treat people like that. There's a special place in hell for you when you leave this place. Realistically think that God is going to give you a pass for what you've done to these people down here on earth, you are crazy in hell. So do me a favor. Buck me. HISD buck right now. Send her back. When I get done with you, they'll shut this whole goddamn school district down. Buck me. Send her back. But you know what you're going to do, HISD? You're going to sit your ass down and you're going to do what I tell you right now. Your career is over, Brown Outley, or Outley Brown. And not because you have a choice in the matter, but because I said so. It's a reason I'm the best in the business. Every night, Facebook, YouTube, and Twitter. Get on the phone and call your people and tell them the baddest in the business is here. You know who I am. I am the 5-star general. I know how to evaluate talent, Miss Brown. And you look like the best Negro League bat catcher I've seen since Josh Gibson. Matter of fact, you built like Josh Gibson. So tomorrow night, Northside High School, I'm going to tear y'all ass up too. Until then, I'll holler at you.